Good morning, traders. Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Trader Bacon Show. I'm your host, Gates Adams, and I am super excited to share this half hour with you folks. I'm going to want to see some conversations in the chat. So if you're in the chat, make sure to join us today. We're going to have a lot of fun. First and foremost, we will be giving away 3 evaluations through the course of today's show. You can see the form. Just click on that link, fill out the form, and you will be entered to win one of those 3 free Apex Trader funding evaluations. Now, last week's winners, we had 3 winners, Rivera, Daryl, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Add-in. Congratulations to you guys. Make good use of those. That should be a lot of fun and excitement. And if it's time to add more to the arsenal, or if it's really just now finally time to get ready, now is a great time. Apex Trader Funding offering 80% off all evaluations, special discounts on the big boys, I think with the 250 to 300, and I think the 150 maybe. Make sure to take full advantage of that. Go to apextraderfunding.com, promo code Benzinga. Couple extra perks on there, 1 day to pass. I believe it's $50 resets. Make sure to take full advantage of this sale. This is almost as low as it ever gets, and we very rarely see the 90% off. So this is a great opportunity to add more accounts to your arsenal and build that up. Speaking of arsenal, as you guys know, I have been working really, really hard to try to build mine up. I have 9 accounts that I'm currently trading, and I have it may be a little bit premature, but I'm going to share with you where my head is right now. As of this morning's trading, it looks like at close of session today, I will have the opportunity to put in my first 5-figure payout request. Now, I'm specifically wording it payout request. I have to get everything, of course, approved, and I need to make sure that everything falls within all of the guidelines. The 5 days at $50 in profit, which I'm pretty sure I've got nailed down. I think all of them for sure at least have the 8 days of trading. They're all above threshold. So this will be the biggest payout for me if it's approved. And if it's approved, this will put me at almost $30,000 in payouts just in 2 months, which is super, super exciting for me. Most of you know I've been documenting my journey in the form of the Forge Trader podcast, which you can check out on iTunes and Spotify. I've got a new episode that we just dropped on Thursday. We'll have a new episode coming out this week as well. So make sure to check that out. And if you want to know more about what's going on with me, some of the work that I've been doing, how I managed to get here based on my horrific history of trading, go to theforgetrader.com/join. Just pop in your name and email address. I share a lot of insights and a lot of the things that I work on and work towards as I continue to grow and develop as a trader. One thing that I know is I'm not there yet. There's so many areas that I'm working hard to improve and continue to build, that when I look at what I've managed to accomplish in the last 60 days, I just see that there's so much more opportunity, so much there for me. I also have 5 more 150K evals. So if I pass those, that will put me at 14 $150,000 accounts, which I'm super, super excited to be working towards. Kevin, great to see you, my man. If you guys don't know Kevin, he is the host of Futures Fever on Benzinga Wednesdays, I believe at 11 o'clock. Correct me if I'm wrong, brother. He does an amazing job. I got to tell you, for all the people that I know in the world of trading, this man has tremendous insight into what's going on. So you gotta check him out. Not to mention, he was also my original trading coach, and he's the one who got me past the major thresholds that I had. 11:30 on Wednesday. So make sure to check him out as well. We have a fun and exciting show for you guys today. We are going to share some insights from my new buddy Parag, who's had some great success as a trader just a year into the mix, and he is absolutely going to be killing it today. So make sure to hang loose, stick around, because we've got some great insights for you on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now. Parag, what's going on, buddy?
Morning, James.
Good morning. I gotta say good evening to you. You're close to bedtime, or you're at least close to what would be my bedtime overseas right now.
You sleep so early?
Yeah, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning, so by 9:30 I'm pretty much toast. That's about bedtime for me. So that's by the way, for all of you out there, that's been part of my journey, is developing discipline in other areas of my life, and that has been a big factor for me. So Parag, let's talk a little bit about your journey. Now, as I understand, you haven't really been at this game this long. You haven't been trading for a tremendously long time, have you?
Yes, I have been trading since I can say 2 decades.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood what you said earlier this morning. Okay.
I am trading US markets since last 1 year, but I'm into Indian markets. I used to do arbitrage between Indian and US markets earlier in commodities.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay. So you know what? This brings up a really good question that I ask a lot of traders, but I think it's a little bit different with you because you've been trading different markets, specifically not just going from like FX to futures, but you're trading a completely different market over the Asian markets. So when you transitioned into trading US futures, were you able to utilize the same strategy, or did you have to completely restart and come up with a new strategy that worked for the futures markets that you're trading now?
I can say it was a complete restart because in arbitrage, as in you don't need any strategy, you don't need to look at the charts. You
Mm-hmm.
just look at the difference, and you have a fair guess that the difference will reduce or increase. So you take your position based on that. But in trading, it's absolutely everything is absolutely different, and specifically in intraday, it's very tough competition.
So when you were trading prior to trading U.S. markets, I'm presuming you were self-funded at this point. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So is that what brought you over to futures in U.S. markets? Was the ability to be funded?
Yes, actually, because to be funded is means to not trade with your own money is a great advantage.
Mhm.
You have the flexibility to lose as well.
Sure.
Here you because in your own money you don't have that flexibility. You cannot take a risk which you want to.
Mhm.
So this is what prop firms allow you. So I just love it now. Since 1 year, I just think that I'm too late to enter.
You're never too late. I think you and I are probably in the same range, roughly. And again, I mean, you guys know I'm 60 days into being a paid trader, so it's definitely taken me a long time. And it's never too late. And you know what? You could trade well. I've interviewed traders that are in their 80s, so we got plenty of time, Parag. Don't worry
Yes,
about it.
considering that, yes, we have got a lot of time.
That's awesome. So as you transitioned into U.S. markets, now do you prefer trading the U.S. markets, all else being equal?
Frankly speaking, I have stopped watching Indian markets
Okay.
since last 4 to 6 months.
Okay. So
I'm only trading US markets, and that too a couple of hours of New York Open. That's it.
yeah, I love that. Now, is this what you do for a living, or do you actually have like what we would consider a day job?
No, nothing. I
Mhm.
100%. I'm 100% dependent on NQ and gold.
Q and gold. Well, I love that, and I know that for most traders, this is a huge transition. Is this something that you've been completely financially reliant on for some time, or is this a new situation for you?
You can say a new situation, but I basically have never worked under someone or never have had a job or
Sure.
intended to have a job
Mhm.
because I wasn't comfortable working for someone else right from the beginning since I passed out my college.
Well, and I've always been the same way. I've had jobs where I worked for companies, but for the most part, I've been self-employed most of my adult life, and I think some of us are just wired that way. Whereas some people, it's there's a completely different mindset. So, have you found that do you feel you're a better trader because you have the mindset of being self-employed, or do you think it really impacts you at all?
I can say I'm not that good a trader because if I had a good discipline and rule following, then I would have been way ahead of the game. But it's okay. As you said, no one is late in this game. So
Well, and that's I mean that's very true. Now, you say you're not a very good trader, but you're completely financially reliant on trading. This to me, I think is, and I look, I'm going to just flat out there. You guys know I love Apex. This is to me one of the biggest benefits of being a funded trader, because I talk to traders all the time. They start to see success and they start to see that consistency. They make a lot of money, and then eventually something happens and they shift and they blow their accounts and they have to start over, which is unpleasant and painful for sure. However, it's certainly much, much easier to manage as a funded trader than if you had your life savings on the line, for example. You blow the account, then you have to restart, but you have to find the money with which to restart. So I think that this is certainly one of the milestones that we experience as traders. We're not going to go from losing all of our money to making our first payout, and eventually, and that's just it, right? We keep going from there. We don't make any more mistakes. It takes years and sometimes decades to be the level of consistent where somebody can solely rely on their own self-funded account and not blow it, because we've all been there. We've all hit that struggle. Excuse me. So as you continue to grow, do you see yourself ever moving into a self-funded trader again, or are you just happy with being funded from here on out?
Actually, I'm happy with being funded, and I haven't used my full limit as well in Apex. So there are 20 account limits, so I haven't used that as well. So let me first reach that.
And that's a great point. I'm sitting at 9 accounts, and I'm seeing a level of success that I thought it was, honestly, I thought it was going to take me another 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe even to get to this point. That ability to multiply our efforts, even not to the maximum, creates such an incredible opportunity. So anyway, I could go off for hours on that, and I know we're both looking forward to hitting that 20 account mark maybe here in the next couple of months. We'll see. So let's talk a little bit about your strategy and what it is that you're doing that's helped you find success as a trader and to be able to put your financial life in reliance of trading. Let's go ahead and pull up some charts and see what it is that you're actually looking for in a typical trade.
So I'll start with the gold trade that I did today.
Okay.
I just look for support, resistance, and a structure. So you can see the hourly chart of gold. The structure is lower low,
right,
lower highs, lower highs. See, so right. This is the PDH and PDL levels, and this is session high and session low.
Okay.
So basically what happens when the gold starts, I start a bit earlier for gold, say about 30 minutes before NY open, because gold starts a bit early.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see this the resistance zone over here.
Right.
It tested the zone over here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I look is I need manipulation 5-minute charts.
Okay.
Without that, I won't enter them. My basic criteria is look at the structure in hourly. I find the structure is bearish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I find the resistance level. So it needs to test this level first, around 3250. Okay. So it tested the level in 5 minutes. See, we can see. Now it tested the level over here. Now I want manipulation. I don't see any manipulation over here for when it first tested. So I'll wait. So it came down over here. I waited for retest of that zone again. So it is a manipulation. See, the level here was taken out. It was tested, and it closed below that. So I see a manipulation in 5 minutes. You can say kind of a double top also.
Sure.
See, this is a double top. So I just go in the lower time frame. I traded as per the 30-second chart. See, you can see over here.
You like the quick one.
Yes. See, you can see the inverted FVG.
Okay.
Over here. So this was my entry level around here, 3249. The stop loss was high and target was this around this zone.
Okay.
Basically I keep 1:2. So if I am keeping a stop loss of $4, say 49 and 53. So it was a $4 stop loss. So I'll look to get $8 first. So whatever position I take, I try to take $8 first, exit half position, and if I have something else, I'll exit around this support zones. So it tested the support zone as well, and then it again move up. So basically, this is what I do every single day. Look at the structure in hourly, wait for 5 minute manipulation, and enter by as per 30-second or 1 minute chart. It's quite easy. And I also, you can see, I also have this EMA, 200 EMA in one
Mhm.
minute, 200 EMA in 5 minutes,
Okay.
and VWAP. For somewhat reasons, it always respect the 200 EMA. See, you can see
Right.
for somewhat reason, I don't know why, but I just keep that on the charts. So in that, also I mark the London highs lows and
Mhm.
Asian high lows. So you can see over here the 3251 level, three to
Mhm.
five and half, it was Asian low.
Okay.
So I see VWAP and Asian low. So there were multiple confluences around this area. I see
Right.
manipulation around that area. So this was like you can go full Monty.
Mhm.
You can if you are yes, if you dare, then you can go full Monty. You can even pass a 50,000 evaluation in this trade, because I know, yes, I know it will come down from here.
Sure.
Multiple confluence is very hard to get.
Okay, and I love the simplicity of this. And so I do the same thing. I've got I've got an EMA on my charts. I've got a 21 EMA, and I've got VWAP on the chart. I don't use them to trade. Really, what I tend to use them for is if my target is on the other side of it, then I'm going to be very, very cautious when we start to approach it. That's sort of been a real big risk elimination method for me. And I know a lot of people love to trade the bounces off of it, but that's not, I'm looking for bigger moves, right? So I'm not looking for, a 10 tick bounce or a 5 tick bounce or anything like that. The size that I trade, that would be pretty insignificant. But again, I don't know the reasons. I can pretty much presume that they're psychological reasons, meaning that a lot of people are watching these levels and people are making decisions based on those levels, which means that it doesn't mean it's going to bounce. It doesn't mean it's going to blow through it. It just means that this is an area to keep an eye out for. And for me, where I'm going to tighten up my stops and maybe consider taking a partial, just based on the fact that I know one way or another, something is likely to happen there. From there, I can make additional decisions. I can add on, I can take off, I can just completely close my trade. And that's been really helpful for me, being as they're not really part of my entry strategy. So I love the fact that you're not, same thing. It's not necessarily part of your strategy, but when you see it, it makes sense that there's more information to be had from it.
Just to have more confidence in your
Ah,
trade.
absolutely. Now, full Monty, I don't know. I don't know about you. In the U.S., that might have a different connotation. There was a movie,
Yes,
anyway.
yes,
So
yes.
that's why I chuckled when you said that. But I know what you mean, 100% for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, now,
I can share. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say. Now, you mentioned that you trade gold and NQ. Now, would you be trading these simultaneously? Meaning, would you possibly be in a position in both at the same time, or is it one or the other, whatever's lining up for you?
No, I sometimes I have trades standing in both of them.
Wow. Okay. Do
Yeah.
you find that difficult to manage?
Not as in, if I get a trade around the same time, then I have to choose one.
Sure.
So I'll go for the trade that is more better as compared to risk to reward.
Of course.
Yeah. Otherwise, 90% of times they I'll get the trade simultaneously, not at the same time.
Right. Okay. But you might be in both positions at the same time, and I mean, obviously anything can happen. But of course, the potential there is that you're multiplying your efforts once again, and you're not necessarily waiting for that same move. I know for me that's not where I am right now. I don't want to look at multiple charts. I do
Uh,
look at ES and YM for confluence and for sometimes like SMT, if that means anything to anybody, and divergence and things like that. But to be actively engaged in more than one chart, that's not where I am. Now, I haven't been consistently trading for a couple of decades. Is this something that you developed and grew into with experience, or did you always trade this way?
the point is, I use to trade in both the product, because I have a same strategy designed for them.
Mhm. Sure.
The same strategy works in both of them. So I don't have any confusion regarding the entries or exit.
Right. Well,
So
and I think that's the value of having that level of simplicity in what you're looking for, because look, as traders, we have a tendency to overcomplicate things so much. And then it's like, okay, I'm doing this calculation, I'm putting these lines on the chart, I'm mapping out this fair value gap. It's one thing after another, and it's very almost interactive as you're leading into a trade. And
I've been
you
there.
know,
I've been there.
I think we've all been there, and I'm getting better at removing some of the noise. I still have multiple things that I like to look at, but I have one very specific thing that I'm always looking for, which I actually shared a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't catch that episode, I think it was from 2 weeks ago, end of April. Check that out, and you guys can see more of my insight, whatever. Again, take with a grain of salt, just like all of this. It's not advice, but it's just a different way of looking at things. Which is why we do this format the way that we do. So at this point, would you consider adding on more instruments, or is two plenty for you?
No, I'm happy with only gold and NQ, because too many instruments will just spoil my game.
Sure. And I think that's a great point. I mean, at this point, we talk about simplicity, and you've added on a different instrument, so that takes away some of the simplicity of your overall strategy. But as traders, again, I know that we have a tendency to get greedy. It's like, if I can do this with 2, I can do this with 3 or 4 or 5. And, for some people, that's fantastic. But again, anytime we start adding stuff in or changing the way we do things, we have a real strong potential to negatively affect our results, at least in the short term, as we grow into that new dynamic, which is something that I talk about frequently. And I say this, and the reason I talk about certain topics over and over again, oftentimes, is because I'm trying to remind myself that maybe I shouldn't take a step that I'm looking at. Maybe I'm not ready, or if I do, to proceed with caution. And that's absolutely something that I recommend of every trader. Anytime you change the dynamics, just do so in small increments.
Also, what I'm looking is at only couple of trades per day.
Yeah.
Maybe one trade in gold and one trade in MNQ. So I'm just happy with a couple of trades. That's it, and I just log off.
And you know what? That's a beautiful thing. You've got 90 minutes worth of quote unquote work per day, and then you have the rest of your day. So what is it that you do with the rest of your day after you've taken your 2-3 trades and you're out?
I just go down for a walk with my wife, and during daytime I'm absolutely free. So I do sports, I do swimming, we go movies, go for lunch. That's it. So why not enjoy the life if you can make some good money by just trading a couple of hours?
So let's talk a little bit about the dynamic and to share to your comfort level, but you're earning in dollars in a country that does not typically earn in dollars. Has this changed the way you live your life?
Yes, absolutely. Dollar is 84 rupees. So it is 84x in India.
Okay. Now, does that mean 84 times the buying power, or?
Yes, you can say 84 times the buying power.
Really? So, if you make $1,000 as a trader, which is a pretty starter level income as a funded trader, because the minimum payout's gonna be $500, right? That would be the equivalent of making about $84,000. Like that would be like $1 million a year in the U.S.
Yes. You can not say exactly, but you can say equivalent of. 84,000 rupees is a big money in India as well. $1,000. So you can just do with $80,000 per month. You can live your life in India. You don't need anything more.
Now, do you travel? I mean, is that part of your long-term goal, or are you pretty just kind of content to just live comfortably on an hour and a half a day?
I travel a lot, and that's the only reason I'm stuck to Apex, because Apex is the only firm which doesn't have any compulsion. They have just introduced to trade once a trade per 6 months. So I'm super happy that I don't have to trade each and every day or each and every week.
I'm going to latch onto this here for a second because I'm still in the mix of I can't stand a day when I don't trade.
Oh,
And I know that this is an area that I need to work on. And I'm intentionally for the first time requesting a payout on all of my accounts at the same time, which means logically and wisely, I'm not going to trade until I get that request approved. So if that takes 3 to 5 days, that doesn't matter. I'm not trading. And to me, like it's almost painful not to trade. Now, okay, I have 5 evaluations. I could continue to trade those, but I'm trying to build that mindset of you don't have to trade every single day. And like I've noticed that I struggle on Fridays. Fridays are very hit and miss for me. So I've considered the idea of not trading on Fridays. And then when Friday rolls around, it's like, well, but I want to, you know, and I know that this is definitely not a strength of mine. There is value in taking those days off. There is value in not indulging in that desire, because it is a deep level desire, right? And so I'm trying to put myself in positions where I can start to set this aside. And maybe it would be a good idea for me just to not trade the evaluations until they're approved, just so that I can go through that exercise, because you're never going to get good at anything that you don't do.
Yes, actually, I also used to sit long hours for trading. I thought that if I sit long hours, then I'll make more money. But eventually, I just blew up accounts over and over and over and over again. So I thought that why not go for base hits and just log off? Why do you need more money? If you can make it, it wasn't possible for me to make 50K if I hadn't gone that way.
Yeah, that's huge, right? And I've done the same thing, and I'm not going to say I still do the same thing. Sometimes I stay in the charts much longer than I know I should, and those are almost always my worst days. Now the problem is every now and again they're my best days, and I'm trying really to develop that mindset of even if it's my best day, I've made a terrible mistake, and I've not served myself. I've not served my long-term desire. And that's really where we are as traders. It's like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym and get jacked in one session. It takes time, right? So if you're trying to fix a red day, into a green day by staying on longer than you should. So all of these things that I know I struggle with, as I sit here, I talk about the fact that there's a lot of things that I continually need to improve. And I'm sure you're the same way, because I think that once we hit a certain level, we start to realize a little shift makes a massive difference at the end of the week or at the end of the month, right? And so when we start talking about the value of the effort, the value of the work that we do, this is a point where we're getting paid, we're starting to see some consistency, and every little thing that we do has that much more value, right? Whereas before it was just trying to get past that first milestone, that first payout, or whatever the case may be, right? Do you continue to work on yourself and develop yourself as a trader? Is this something that you proactively do on a consistent basis?
Yes, actually, I go to gym, and I involve myself in sports more, because it kind of helps. It's like a meditation only, yeah.
And I talk about this a lot, but how does it help you actually in the charts when you're more active and physical and engaged in things that are not necessarily chart related?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So you talk about, engaging in sports and working out and doing these things. And I am 100% in agreement with you. I'm not challenging this at all, because I talk about this a lot. But for you, the work that you do on yourself outside of trading, how does that impact your trading for you? How do you see that impacting your trading?
Say for example, I just take care of my health by having some discipline in my eating habits, in my daily routine. I say for example, I have to go 3 days for running. I have to indulge myself into cricket and swimming. So those are the activities. I keep myself disciplined. So that discipline is kind of shifted to your trading routine as well. So that helps in and you know what discipline does as a trader. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, to me, this is where we get into the conversation of identity, because I know when I started to get back into the journey, there were a lot of areas of my life that were pretty undisciplined. And so when I was trying to be disciplined in the charts, it was a foreign concept to me. I'm not going to say I was completely undisciplined, but it was not necessarily my norm. It was not my identity. And when you start adding disciplined activities into your regular routine, you start building the identity of a disciplined person, which means that when you say, I'm going to stop trading for the day, you stop trading for the day. That discipline holds true. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, actually, and since the day since I've followed my base hits, I'm very happy. Actually, I've stopped losing money. I've stopped blowing accounts, and you will be shocked to hear that I just risk $50 to $70 per trade.
That's crazy. I love that.
Yeah, and I've managed to make about the major part of this income is from the last couple of months only, say about
Wow.
30K.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, gosh, man, I sure appreciate all of the insight, all of the experience that you bring to the table with your previous history as a trader, your recent history as you've continued to grow, but not just grow, really grow into. And I'm always hesitant to use the word professional trader because there's a specific designation to that, but trading as your profession. And I think that for many of us, that's really what we want to get to. And it takes so much psychologically to get to the point where we can just allow that reliance to settle in, because we see some of these traders, they're making 40, 50, 60 grand a month, which is, look, let's face it, for most people anywhere in the world, that's plenty to live very comfortably on, right? But the second that they make that shift, all of that seems to go away, and they have to build that back up. So I think that this has just been so insightful and so helpful in terms of really seeing what that looks like and how that worked out for you. So thanks for sharing all of that. Yeah. I could do this for hours, as I say on almost every show, but they don't give me that much time yet. Maybe one of these days they'll expand my time slot. But in the meantime, for those of you out there, make sure to fill out that form for those free evaluations. We will be giving away 3. Make sure to get those filled out before we cut the feed here in just a moment. If you're curious as to what's been going on with me, my story, my development, my strategies as I continue to develop myself as a trader and as a disciplined human being, check out the Forged Trader podcast and check out theforgedtrader.com/join. And I will share with you all of my insights as I figure them out piece by piece. And we will be back next week with another phenomenal episode of the Trader Bacon Show right back here at Benzinga, Monday, 11 a.m. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Make sure to join us next time, Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern.